Exalted. Empire.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Exalted Empire podcast, the King's Court, and we're your hosts, Vincent and
Emperor.
And today we're going to be talking about Tower of God. Now, if you want to know what Tower of God is the newest anime of the season, one of the newest anime of the season, and it's originally a webtoon, which is basically a web manga. That's the creator is Korean, and he goes by SIU. That's the acronym. I don't know how to pronounce it, so we're gonna call him SIU. And it's serialized by Naver's Webtoon platform. It's been going on since June 30th, 2010. And it's on the if you wanna read the webtoon, it's on Line Webtoon app. It's an app that's on iPhone and Android. If you wanna watch Tower God, it's on Crunchyroll. That's the legal way and the best way to watch it. Now, for Exalted Empire is a new creation by Emperor. He's the one who's the lead for all of this, and he's the one that's helped me start this podcast. And Exalted Empire is basically we're a young group of kings and queens building our own individual empires, and we're creating art and content for all of y'all to enjoy. So we hope y'all will be with us and rock with the empire and join us.
Beautiful, man. Let's get started.
All right, let's get started. So we're going to be talking about Tower of God, as I said before. It's a very wonderful anime so far. We're 8 episodes in. So the first question we're going to start off with, and I'm going to be the one asking the questions because we have different perspectives. Emperor is only watched the anime. He's only been up to the 8 episodes, so he didn't know anything about this coming in.
Not a lick.
So yeah, and I'm the one who read the webtoon, so I know a lot more. So hopefully that will give you like an interesting perspectives, and hopefully that will make you want to check out both by the end of it. So we're gonna talk all about that. So the first question is, what do you think of the first 8 episodes, Emperor?
Oh man, see, it started off kind of like confusing for me a little bit. I was like, all right, I don't know what the hell's going on really. This god tier bunny rabbit came from nowhere. He's talking to these guys. I see big monsters, and I see this guy with super long hair. Almost thought he was a girl at first, and chilling with this chick, and then they just get thrown, like I said, in front of this bunny rabbit, and then shit just starts popping off, which is like super cool, honestly. They're going through this almost like tuning exams to see who can climb this fucking tower. I don't even know what the tower is all the way, but it looks fucking cool. The graphics look cool. It's fucking pretty. So honestly, I'm excited. I want to see what else happens. Really.
I definitely feel that. Tower God, we're following the main characters, Bam and Rachel. They are the 2 main characters, and in the first episode, we start off in this cave, this dark cave, and they're running, and we're watching them, and then just like Bam tackles Rachel because she seems to be leaving, and he doesn't want her to leave, and they're breathing really hard. Then they get transferred in front of this bunny rabbit looking thing with that's kind of creepy but seems all powerful.
Right.
And it's just a very interesting way, and it's just like for somebody who's never read the webtoon, how like captivating did you think this first episode was?
Man, at first I didn't really know what to think, but then like when they got thrusted into that, like all this responsibility is what it seems like. It's like this fucking all-powerful being just comes in front of you, and he's like, hey, look, you can go through this if you want to, you could give it a shot, here's a test. So honestly, I thought the first episode was pretty cool. Like, I felt like maybe it kind of started off like I woke up and I didn't know where I was, but then like all that quickly started going away, and I started to figure out what was happening. And I don't know, I like what's happening in the first episode. I thought it was beautiful too. So
got you. I really appreciate that, because I really want to know what somebody knows nothing about it. Because as somebody who read the webtoon, for me, obviously, I already know. I didn't particularly love the first episode for me, but that's because it's just like, for me, it's just kind of like I would have preferred it to stop at a different point, and I would have loved if this adaptation had more episodes. Because this is a 13 episode. If any of you guys didn't know, this is 13 episodes, and we don't know if we're gonna get any more yet or not. So we're just kind of going about it as off the information that we know. But as far as like, I think it does a good job of capitalizing on like being mysterious, and the music is really good, and it's just like, oh, like, who are these two? What's the tower?
Right.
It's just like it does do a good job of making you like want to know more, I think.
Definitely.
If you're just looking at it from the lens of somebody who absolutely knows nothing, I think it does a pretty good job of making you want to know more. You're just like, I don't know what this is. I don't know what's going on here. How did you feel about the other two characters? Kind of brief introduction of Yuri and Evan, because these were two people that we don't know anything about, but they came out of nowhere and just helped Bam pass the first test.
Right, Yuri and Evan. The princess, I love that type of energy. Like, she knew exactly what the fuck she was doing. She knew exactly what she wanted to do, and it seemed like she knew where she wanted to go. And the dude that she had with her, I think they had like a cool little dynamic. Like, I don't know, he's kind of like one of those guys who's like super fucking passive, but he's like smart, it seems like, and he's kind of helping her in terms of like a map or a navigator or some shit. So it's like, I don't know, they have a pretty cool pair. I kind of want to see how they influence the story in the future. I don't think the dude's gonna have that much of an impact. I hope I'm wrong, but it doesn't seem like, unless he just like stays with her, like the princess. But it seems like, it seems like she's definitely gonna be back, and she gonna be on some crazy shit. Cause I mean, he has a sword still, so she's definitely gonna be back.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he borrowed her sword.
Yeah, Black March, right? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's called Black March. He borrowed her weapon. Actually, the weapons are called needles. They're actually not swords.
They're needles.
Yeah, because there's a difference between swords and needles in the tower.
Huh.
And so, that's kind of interesting.
That is interesting.
That they'll touch more on, but it's just like, but yeah, it's like he borrowed this weapon that seemed to be really important that she's not even supposed to part with.
Right.
And so it's just like, the first episode was just very interesting. I don't want to say too much. We already kind of talked about it at great length about already within the first episode. So we apologize to anybody that hasn't seen it yet. It's the first episode, so we're just trying to get you intrigued. We're going to try to avoid spoilers as much as possible, especially me, because I'm not trying to ruin nobody's experience. So I just want to talk about what's going on. So it's just like, if you don't want to know, or you feel like we're talking about spoilers, or we start saying too much, we're gonna try our best to limit that. But we just want to talk about what stuff that's already going on just within the episode. So excuse us for that. So moving on, what do you think about the world so far, even just past the first episode? Like, how do you feel about it?
And at first I thought it was going to be really limited because it's in a tower, so I'm thinking that one floor is going to be like maybe half of an episode or maybe an episode, and then when they expire with the floors, then that's the end of the anime. But it looks so huge and expansive that like that was instantly wiped away. Like, each floor seems so massive. It seems like one floor has like doors that's still on the same floor. It's like, I don't know, it's like a pocket dimension. It's its own universe. So I actually really like it. I like how they did it, to be honest.
Right. Yeah. In the webtoon, they say that each floor is twice the size of North America. So these floors are ridiculously huge.
That is crazy.
So, yeah, right. And then there's so much going on them, and you're just like, what is going on? On the second floor, that's just for the regulars. And so there's regulars, people who have been chosen by the tower, because the tower seems to be almost like a sentient being, and it seems to have a will of its own to get people, to climb up the tower, since they're able to climb up. So the king has allowed allow people to climb up the tower, and and they reach the top of the tower, they seem to get their wish granted. Whatever wish they would have, whether it be money or power or status, they seem to get, whatever they want. It seems to be.
So the king, like, what's his deal? Like, is he the first person to climb the tower? Like what's going on with King Jahad?
We really don't know too much about the past, even in the webtoon, and I don't want to say too much, but even from what we know, even from what webtoon readers know, we don't know that much. We just know that he climbed up with his group of people that he climbed up with, and ended up becoming the Great 10 Families. And when Jahad climbed up, he became king. And when he became king, the whole structure of the tower changed. The tower felt like he was somebody that was needed for that moment, and he ended up bringing structure and a whole new thing, because the tower was completely different from when Jahad and his people climbed it. Now there's seems to be more structure, more advancement, and more rules and regulations. So he really is a king. He really is a king, and it's just he's bringing something. Now, whether that's good or bad, it kind of, I guess, that depends on your affiliation with him and how you perceive, the tower to be. Because it's just if you're living in riches, you climb up the tower, you got your riches, you got your status, you just love Jahad, love what he's doing. But if you're not somebody doing that, or if you end up having, problems with him or his group of people, it may not turn out so well for you. So I think that's very interesting. And how big these floors is, everybody's definitely going to feel differently.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. I want to see more of them, honestly. Or the princesses, at least, because they all have, some great energy. I love how their characters all display themselves. They're fucking standing straight up, and, man, I need more of that, honestly.
Right, for sure. This world seems to be so amazing, because there's so many different, character designs, and there's so many different things going on, just this power system based off this water type element, that basically is everything. Because basically the way they explain it is that not only is the setting part of the world, but the power system is part of the world, and it's called Shinsu. And Shinsu, basically, from what they say, gives you basically the power to do just about anything, or is capable of doing anything. We've seen limited examples so far from the episode, because they take tests, and everybody's trying to learn how to use this power. But you can definitely use it to attack, you can use it to get information, and they got these positions ranking towards them, and it's just that's all part of the world of Tower God. And I just think that's so crazy. It's so monumental for somebody like myself who's into lore. And I think you too, we're just really into not only adventure and the lore, and you can add that with things like One Piece and Hunter x Hunter,
Naruto,
different stuff like that. That's a big attraction to stories like this.
It really is.
Yeah, we got just part of that. So speak on how do you feel about the power system and some of that going on?
The power system's cool. When I first saw the water, I was at first I thought it was kind of specific. I kind of just felt like that was his element until he continued to explain it. I forgot who was the first person to start explaining it. I think it was
Leroy.
Yeah, that dude. He looks kind of cool too. His posters on a couple of fucking walls in there. But I think the power system is fucking cool, because I've seen it used as enhancements to jump higher or run faster. I've seen it fucking spawn things. I think teleport things. That shit's fucking cool. I wonder how other characters are gonna implement it, because it seems a lot of people use it as just this raw substance that they could just use to pierce it. To pierce anything. It's kind of like G from Dragon Ball Z. It's kind of fucking chakra from Naruto, but it's a little different, because it could be used as a physical thing, or it could be used as kind of a doorway for other things too. So
it got so many applications of how it can be used as part of it.
Cool.
Another thing I want to speak on: how do you feel about like the because I normally like these type of things. I love ranking systems
Yeah.
in video games. I love it in anime. I just think that's like a really not only easy but effective way to like gauge strength of characters, engage like how important they are and stuff like this. So how do you feel about like the ranking system in the tower? Because it's just like they make rankers seem like a really big deal. Dude, in Tower of God.
I love ranking systems because it just really like shows you like what's been effective. It allows them to like open up more things to like, let's say the number one ranked ranker is like a fucking dark user or something, but there's this new guy who uses light, but there's nobody ranked that's using light, and they just like completely turn the series on its head. I think you could do a whole bunch of things with it, and I think it shows you what already works in the series, and I kind of just want to see the other characters that are like ranked highly within the series as well. But I love ranking systems because, like you said, it allows you to show you who's important, who's strong, who's not, what's working, what's not working. Yeah, I love it.
Got you. So, like, the thing that's also cool about this one is that the ranking systems in Tower of God are not completely on strength alone.
Okay.
Like influence and power are definitely part of it. What you've accomplished, like those are all things that they put into the ranking system. So the ranking system, is not absolute, as far as just like strength, but strength is part of it though. So don't get it twisted. And every ranker is definitely special in their own right, because it's definitely hard to climb this tower. As they show you, I mean, in the second episode, he's explaining like some of the things you need to team up with people, you need to have strength, you need to have knowledge, but you also just need to get lucky. I mean, some people just fail just based off just being unlucky.
Fuck.
Yeah, and that's just so crazy, because in a lot of anime and a lot of places, it's just like basically it's just like luck is part of it, but they don't touch on that as much, because it's just like just like, oh, the main character, he just gets stronger, he gets taught by some good mentors and he works hard, but it's just like that may not be enough in Tower of God.
Yeah,
it may not be enough. It's just like you run into the wrong person and it's over, or you just like you don't pass the test.
Run into your hard counter, fucking fall off the map or something.
Yeah, like you just don't know. And also we have things that are outside the ranking system. Bam and Rachel, our main characters, are something called irregulars, and irregulars are people who were born outside the tower. Like I explained before, the tower is like a sentient type being, so it's just like it chooses people. But Rachel and Bam are people who were not chosen. They just kind of broke in somehow, and we don't really understand how they did that. Nobody knows. Even Webtoon readers, we don't know how they got in. They just got in, and now they're here and they're special. They just work outside the rules, which also makes them dangerous, which I think the episodes also tries to touch on, because just like you built the structure of rules, and you're trying to make sure everybody follows them, then here you go, these groups of people that come and they're not part of it, and that's scary. That's scary if you're a king or if you're somebody who's part of the system. It's just like this whole person can come and mess up everything you're trying to do. So how do you feel about something like that, having two characters, even though they haven't shown much like fighting prowess too much up to this point, but how do you feel about like their futures and what do they got to?
I'm not quite sure about Rachel. I don't know. I gotta see more from her. I just wish she was kind of like, which they're probably saving for later, but I just wish she was a bit more open with who she is. But I guess that's just her character. So, but Bam, I don't know what it is, but I just feel like Bam is gonna be great because he seems receptive to teaching. He seems to be a sponge. He just wants to learn. He's a chill dude. Like, he's not over the top. He wants to become better, and he just wants to build relationships, and I think that's really fucking cool, honestly. And once again, maybe it's because I don't know that much about Rachel, but I don't think it's that crucial to be following her. But I guess when you think about it, like, she taught him basically everything that he knows, then I can understand it definitely. But Maybe it's just because I don't really have that relationship with her yet as a viewer to the character. Like she hasn't really just imprinted on me yet. But I
Okay.
love Bam. I love Bam.
Got you. That's a good transition since you already kind of spoke on it. How do you feel about Bam as an MC, and what do you expect? And we'll just kind of expound more on that. So I guess I'll
Okay.
start since you touched on it a little bit. For me, up to this point, I wasn't really sure what to expect at this part. I was just kind of like, I'm following this character, and he's kind of like being used to explain rules of the tower. He's being used to like, cause he's like an empty husk. We don't know much about him.
Right.
One thing that I think the webtoon does better that the anime, can't do, I guess, because of the limited size, is that Bam in the webtoon has monologue, and monologue is something that I feel really helps
Yeah, it
his
gives you
character
insight.
a lot more, because some people kind of have a misconception, I guess you can say, to how his character is. They might find him boring, and I guess maybe he's not the most entertaining yet, because he's very simple. He's very ignorant, because he's almost like a baby. He's almost like a newborn baby.
Right.
He's like, he doesn't know that much. He doesn't, he's basically starting from ground zero with everything in the tower. He's climbing with teammates. The introduction of characters like Kun and Rack, and they're different. Like, Kun is a member from the 10 Great Families that got expelled for some reason, and Rack seems to be like this alligator, and it's just like the talking alligator, and you're like, what's going on with that? And it's just like, it's just like they're different, but they seem to know some basic things, or some principles of the tower. And Bam, here he comes coming in. He was in a cave with Rachel the whole time, and his whole thing climbing up this tower is to chase Rachel. And I think now the webtoon does some things that are a bit different at the beginning. They give you some more insight into Rachel, and like the anime keeps it more mysterious. I think the anime goes about it in a different way. It definitely tries to keep you like on your toes without explaining everything right then and there. I think the webtoon, for better or for worse, I think I say I prefer some of that aspect a little bit more, is that you just kind of already, it doesn't tell you everything, but it shows you a lot more than what the anime kind of keeps you more in the dark, which for some people might work. So how do you feel about that?
I don't know. Rachel seems kind of shady to me. So, because I feel like, all right, somebody who had this big impression on the MC, I kind of wish I knew a little bit more about them, because like from what it seems like, the whole basis of the whole show is just him chasing after her, pursuing her, but she doesn't really seem receptive to it, and like she does a little bit. Nah, that's a lie. She does a little bit, but I don't know. I kind of expected her to be like more sisterly to Bam or some shit, but she just kind of like, I don't know. She acts like she's hiding from him, and I don't get why. Like, like I can't be seen with Bam, but like, why? Like, what's the point? I don't get it.
Right, yeah, and I definitely like, the problem is we don't get to see enough of her motivation, and we don't really get to see like, for what reason do you have to abandon the person that you've been in a cave with, been teaching? You basically been like a motherly or big sister figure to.
Right.
And because I think that's more their relationship. I don't really see them as lovers. And you said you didn't either. Yeah. So it's just like more of like a mother or big sister relationship. And it's just like, she in the anime kind of tells you that she taught him basically everything that he knows up to this point in time, or at least a lot of it. So it's just like, and she shows some level of concern, but at the same time, she doesn't want him to follow her. But it's just, for me, it's kind of like, isn't it a little too late for that though? Like, once he chased you here,
Right.
and once you find him in the tower, it's just like, why don't you just climb up with him? And for me, I couldn't really comprehend that. I was just like, why would you just not climb with him? I mean, he got a group of team members. You got a group of team members. Like, wouldn't that give you the best chance of climbing up the tower as well? It's like, don't you need maybe a mini ally that you need?
Exactly. It's like, it's weird. Like, why are you being standoffish? This is like your family, basically, and then you just kind of like disappear from them, and now you're just fucking like being standoffish to him. I don't really understand. That's why she seems kind of shady, and I don't really know her motivations. Like maybe you have a little bit more insight as to why she's the way that she is, but right now she just seems shady, and I don't really care for her that much. But obviously Bam does, so you know I'm gonna try to stick in there for my boy Bam, because he does seem like kind of like an indie husk, but I think that's just because like I think that's just gonna make him so much better in the future. Like he's just being really receptive. He's just receiving his situation, being president. You know, he's just learning everything that he can, and he's not going in there with like this stigma or like this notion of like, all right, I don't need to learn from this guy. I don't need to learn from this guy. Maybe I'll learn from him. He's just like soaking everything in and just trying to be the best Bam that he could be. So that's why I love him already, even though I haven't really seen that much of him. He just seems like he wants to get better.
That's facts. And he definitely seems like a person that like has scary talent, because it's just like you're looking at him, it's just like he shouldn't be like learning things at the speed that he's
right,
learning,
like that dude with the horn,
like,
salty.
Yeah, man, he's doing stuff, and you're just like, how you do that? Or just like what? Like,
right.
You're just looking at him, you're just like, oh yeah, it's like you definitely can see, like, oh, this guy's gonna be a problem.
Right.
So it's just
his
ability, I think that's very interesting.
His ability paired with his willingness to learn, definitely gonna be a problem. And speaking of problem in a bad way, I think like the dude I just said, the dude with the horn and the orange hair or whatever, I think he might be a problem too. Cause like his name, he seems like a hoe. Like honestly, if I'm being real, cause I don't know, he has his mask. He's fucking front in front of everybody. He's trying to pretend that he's super fucking strong and he's not. Maybe he does have some fucked up shit at home, huh? But I don't know, dude. He just seems shady too. There's a lot of shady dudes in this motherfucker. I want to see. I just want to see my boy Bam sauce it up for the one down there.
Got you. So I'll transition to the next question now.
Alrighty.
Does this adaptation make you want to pick up the webtoon? And this is more for you, because obviously I've already picked it up way before I even got this. So it's just like, what does this do for you? Like, how does it make you feel?
It definitely does, because I just want to know more. And you mentioning the inner dialogue with Bam, I definitely want to see that. And I want to see them kind of expound upon what the hell Rachel is. And I want to see if Ho's an actual Ho. Like, I just want to know more now. It definitely makes me want to dive deeper to the universe or the world that is Tower of God. Definitely.
Okay, I definitely feel that, and I think it will do that for a lot of people. If nothing else, if this anime doesn't accomplish nothing else, I think it'll be a good point for webtoons in general, and just like I think it's a good introduction, and it's a good way to get people interested in the webcomic. Because I think you'll look at it and you'll just be like, man, I really like how interesting this is, but I feel like if I read it, maybe I'll get more of, what I'm looking for more details.
Right.
It's just like, even reading the first season, like you can definitely like maybe catch some stuff that you didn't see the first time, because reading it and watching it is a different experience, because they have to go about it in two different ways. Especially since we don't know how many episodes they're gonna get. All we know for now is the first season getting 13. We don't know if they're getting a second season or not yet, or at least not to our knowledge. We wouldn't know. So it's just like, but I do think it does do a good job of making people interested in picking up the webcomic, to me.
No,
maybe not for everybody, but I think it does, at least that part. Right.
No, I definitely think it does too, because it's like, and especially if you know that it's only going to be 13 episodes, and because this is a cool little world that's going on, and I want to know more. Like, I want to know what the hell is going to happen. This shit's fucking all butter. And I also have 2 questions for you, my good sir.
Okay.
All right, so
okay.
So my first question is, how do you feel about the changes and the differences that they made from the webcomic to the anime?
So for the first episode, for me, honestly, I didn't really like it. Like, I think I've softened my stance a little bit, but at first I didn't like it at all. I mean, let me be more specific.
Okay.
I like certain elements to it. I love the character designs.
Okay.
I love the music.
All right. What about the intro?
I don't really like the opening scene. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm not really into K-drama. It's just like, I guess some of the opening, like animation stuff like that is cool. It's like, I'm not gonna go in depth about animation because it's not like I know all too much about animation. I can only say from what I see, I like how it's animated.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, I'm not a person who can tell you like this part is clunky and the sky doesn't look right. Like, I'm not that guy. I can't tell you anything about that. I can only tell you that I like it. I think it's beautiful. I think they've done a good job with some of the backgrounds and how some of the parts look. And I love the voice actors. I thought the voice actors were real. I didn't expect the voice actors to be that. It's like I never really like, since there wasn't no anime. I always think it's cool when like you can put a voice to a face now.
Right. Instead of it just being your voice in your head for like every single character.
Right, yeah.
It seems crispy. I love the voices too, I'm not gonna lie.
Some of the changes, obviously the pacing's different because in the I've talked about this with a couple of my people. Shouts out to my boy Shinsui on Twitter.
Hey.
Shouts out to my boy Ryan. Shouts out to my boy Hemmings, my boy Simi. But basically, I talked to some of them, and we all got different opinions. Some of them don't like it as much. Some of them like the way, at least in anime form, how it's been adapted. I'm kind of in the middle. Like so far, like me, like I definitely like some parts. I think it's gotten better as it's gone on. I like that. I definitely seen the improvement. Cause for me, it's certain things, and it's just for me for any anime. So I guess it would account. So like one thing is certain parts I kind of wish there was just like more emphasis on the drama of it, I guess you can say.
Okay.
The tension of it, like what the character, like not so much with the voices, the voice actors per se, but more about with the animation itself. Like I kind of like it. Like if you watch like Domino Ace, or if you watch like Hunter x Hunter, it's like when something is going down and something's dangerous, they really let you know that. You're just
right.
Like, oh,
you feel the tension in the air and the atmosphere.
Yeah. Right, and I feel like it could have done a better job with certain things. I don't think it does an awful job bringing that, but I just feel like it could have been like, I really like it to slam home with a point like that, like this you need to be paying attention to. And maybe it's a more subtle approach, and maybe just a personal preference. I don't like that.
I get that.
Another point, I guess you could say, is just like how some characters are kind of like perceived to me. Like I think Kun comes off a little bit different in the anime version. Not too much, but I think there's differences that if you read or when you read the webtoon, you're gonna feel slightly different about the character. Because I feel like there's definitely instances of it, and they're doing a better job explaining it now. But I feel like he's a more like calculating character that, especially like if you hear his like inner dialogue, because there's a lot more monologue in the webtoon.
Okay, because he definitely seems really calculating in the anime. That was actually what I was going to ask you about, how they are portraying the characters and the differences between the webcomic and anime. So he's more calculating in the manga or the manhwa?
Yeah, I think so. Okay, I'm glad you said that though, because maybe just for me, he doesn't come off as calculating enough because I already know like the source material, because it's not one for one.
Right.
I feel like he's a little bit more. I guess to me, like monologue always adds more.
Definitely.
And it's just like how the webtoon creator SIU, how he does flashbacks and does stuff like that. I thought that like I really like Kun flashback as far as like animated and seeing how it does, but I also think it's portrayed different, like the stuff with his mother and helping his sister. I think it comes off a little bit different too, and his relationship to maybe some of the other characters, because it's just like in one way I think how the characters kind of bounce with each other is good, but another way I feel like there's like more specific examples or more specific things you can see. Like I think Anak and Dorsey's relationship is pretty good. They're both princesses of the tower for different princesses. Dorsey's a legitimate princess. Anak is technically a fake, even though her mother's a real princess.
Right.
So I thought that was really I thought that was like, you know, their relationship, and it's just like how they interact. It's kind of funny because it's just like they kind of hate each other, but at the same time, they're kind of building a relationship.
Right, they kind of understand each other too at the same time.
Yeah, because Princesses or Jihad are together because they did this thing with having the Princess of the Jihad with a shoe analogy. Their shoes in a glass case.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
That was very like interesting of an analogy because one, I was like never anything like that. It's like, well, what does that mean? and then second of all, it's just like, but it's just like when you look into it, you're just like, oh, okay, like they're not allowed to date, they're not allowed to do certain things, like they real royalty, like in this story, you know, like they are different, and it's just like they work under a different set of rules because they're supposed to be special. They got their families on their back. They got reputations to uphold. Right. And that makes them really interesting. I think that makes them some of the most interesting, compelling characters in the series. Like, how do you feel about them from just somebody who just, you know...
Those are my favorite characters off rip. Besides Bam, it's the Princesses of Jihad. Like, they move with royal energy, and I love that about them. And GSG, that's my nickname for a knock, by the way, GSG. Green skin goddess. Goddamn, like, boy, I love a knock, bro. Like, at first I was kind of annoyed, and sorry, this is a spoiler if you're not caught up on the episodes, but when she took the black mark and she turned back and looked at my boy, was like, you're not getting this back either. I was like, damn. I was like, how you gonna take the blame? He needs this. And I think Bam could be kind of like a pushover sometimes, but we'll save that for another conversation. But I love the Princesses of Jihad. I don't care. They all got that queen energy, and I fucking love it, dude. Damn.
I definitely love them. Any other characters you like? You like Shibisu or Lori? Because I kind of like Lori, at least needed reason, especially right now. It's like
you talk about the burrito dude. Yeah, I love him, bro.
Bro, he just be pillow out. You don't care.
Oh my god, bro, I love him so much. But he always seems to wake up at the perfect time. It's like when he absolutely needs to. Like, of course, in the most recent episode, he didn't wake up when they thought he needed to, but he definitely was up when he needed to be. Man, I love him. I call him Burrito Man, because I can't remember everyone's name right now, so I just give them all nicknames like GSG, Burrito Man, but Bam the GOAT, so I gotta remember his name.
That's hilarious, but entertaining way to remember the character. It's just like, yeah, it's like, you know, these are all new to you, and they definitely don't have regular names. So
right.
But yeah, I love him. How you feel about some of the other characters? Like, how you feel about like Rax? Like, super funny. Like, I don't know, his reactions and voice acting were crazy.
I love him. He reminds me of my bro Jamal Zakaiga. So every time I see him, I'm just thinking like, oh my god, this guy here. But I can't get enough of him. Like, anytime he's on the screen, I'm enjoying myself. I love one dude who annoys me, but I still kind of rock with him. Is Adidas jumpsuit. That's my guy too. He funny as hell.
My boy Shibisu.
Man, he funny as hell. Samurai dude, twin sword god, he go crazy, bro. He seems chill. He seems very insightful. I love him. I can't wait to see him in the future. Who else is there? Man, what's up with the dude who's like chilling with I forgot his name, Wraith Razor. What's up with that dude who was with he's the irregular who was with Rachel and the princess?
Oh yeah, Ghost. Yeah, that's his name. Ghost. No, yeah, like that guy, man. When I was even reading it, you're looking at it, and you're just like, honestly, I think the anime does a better job. He's one of the examples where I feel like the anime does a better job. Cause it's like, when I was reading it, I forgot he was there. I was like, I forgot. I was just like, man, you don't talk, like you big and like you scary, but like,
right.
At least for right now, we don't see you do too much. So I don't know how to feel about it. You just kind of
there.
Here. You carrying Rachel, I guess.
Right.
But I don't know how to feel about you. So he's one of the things I think the anime does a better job, like showing his presence. Cause like during the Crown game, when he was there and he does his little punch, like he didn't do much, but at least he did more than he did in the webtoons. Like I don't remember him doing anything.
I can't wait to see the webtoon now.
So, but yeah, I just like I think he's gonna be a way more important part down the road. But even up in the webcomic, he doesn't. His role is still not clear. But we just know that he's something dangerous. We know he hasn't shown his capabilities.
He got that power. Definitely got that power. Man, I'm eager. I'm eager to see what the fuck is about to happen. Honestly.
Gotcha. We got 5 more episodes left. So, and finally, would you recommend this? How do you feel about it? Somebody who's never, read it.
Definitely.
Would you recommend somebody?
Definitely. Man, because like, you guys have been like telling me to watch it, and you've been telling me to read it forever. But now, like after seeing this, like you've been right about like majority of the animes that you told me to watch and mangas that you told me to read, and this is just another one of those situations. So I'm definitely gonna dive deep into that. I just want to know what the hell is gonna happen, and I would definitely recommend it to everyone else who's trying to look for a good story to dive into. To be honest.
Gotcha. I mean, it's not my favorite adaptation ever, but I definitely don't think it's bad. I definitely think I would recommend it to somebody because at least maybe it's like if I know they're receptive to reading, I was like, okay, this may be the push they need when they see it on screen.
Right.
Now it might be like, okay, I like mystery, I like action. This gets compared to Hunter x Hunter a lot, and I don't really see that too much other than both of them taking tests. But I guess they're in the same genre, so I guess theoretically, if you like something like Hunter, you would like something like this. But that's like a conversation I don't want to go too in depth to, but I don't think they're the same. But I
don't really see
how people are.
Yeah, people are gonna link things together no matter what. So it's
it's just the easiest, laziest thing to do sometimes.
Right.
So I don't want to be too harsh on that, but it's just like I don't think they're the same. But it's just like but in theory, if you like stuff like that, stuff like One Piece, things with heavy lore, things with adventure, and just like you want to know what's gonna happen, its own power system, because there's so much going into the story, so many elements. Like you may not like every element, but I'm pretty sure for just about anybody, especially if you're somebody who likes that type of demographic, you're gonna find something in here for you. And I think there's so many characters that seem to be built up as important because like nobody's dying or nobody, like they're all just taking tests. So it's just like you'll find somebody I think that you'll latch on to that will, if you're not fully in love with Bam as an.
Right. Yeah, I agree, bro. I really do. I appreciate you telling me to watch it. No, I just want to know what else happens. To be honest, I'm here for the tower.
Got you, and I think that about wrap up about what we got for this episode. I'd like to thank all of y'all for listening to us. Once again, this is Exalted Empire podcast, the King's Court, and this is your boy Vincent V and
your boy Emperor. Thank you guys.
Yeah, we signing out.
Peace.